everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming in Sophie's room. We are currently having our kitchen renovated and my living room is split between all of my living room furniture and all of my kitchen furniture. So yeah, it wouldn't have been a perfect background. Not that any of my backgrounds are ever perfect, but I thought this was quite colourful and nice. Today I'm going to do my Eurovisionathon TBR. I'm going to go through the countries. When I say they're not in order, for some reason the way I've done it, I start from A to Z and then have some countries in that and then another A to Z. So I'm just going to go through my list. Apologies if I look down while I'm going through it. Some of them I've only got pictures of because I'm reading them in ebook form, or they haven't come in at the library yet, or I'm hoping to get to them. Others I've got the physical ones, and then at the end I'll go through some that I've recently found that mention multiple countries, so they may take the place of the ones that I've got on my list. My TBR for this is always open to change because I work in a library. I find a lot of different books to do with different countries. Apologies if you hear any banging or moving around because obviously the fella's doing the kitchen downstairs. So without further ado, I'll start. I won't be describing every book because I haven't got the time, but it's just a chance to get a feel for the 40 countries and have 40 possible recommendations for books. Here you'll have more than 40 because, like I said, I've got some that mention multiple countries. So for Albania, I've got The Colour of Food by Anne Else. That one is a food memoir. And I believe she talks about an Albanian recipe in there. I'm hoping there's more than one, but that's one that I thought actually I think that could be quite a nice one to read. Armenia, Fierce, Fearless and Free by Larry Don. That's like a retake on fairy tales for children. That hasn't come into the library yet, but I've got it on order. Azerbaijan, The Best Women's Travel Writing, Volume 12. I think that mentions quite a few countries, but Azerbaijan is mentioned and that can be quite a difficult country to find one for. Belgium, I've got Bottoms Up in Belgium by Alec Lasser, and it's basically a travel non-fiction. Quite a lot of mine will be travel non-fiction because I love that genre of books. Even though I'm not a massive traveller, I like to read about it and live it vicariously through other people. Cyprus, I've got Iago by David Snowden, and this is meant to be a book that follows on from Shakespeare's Othello and looks at what happens to Iago after it. Well, I won't spoil it, but after some deaths have happened. So yeah, I thought that sounded quite interesting, so I'm going to give that one a go for Cyprus. Czech Republic, I have got Foodie Travel Near and Far by C.R. Luteram, I think it says. And quite a lot of these are on script, and so I can't actually remember what most of them look like, so like I said, pictures will go up. Finland, Ibiza on Ice by Gillian St. Kevin. Again, probably another travel fiction. Well, obviously if she's gone to Ibiza. France, I have got The Greek Book. This Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne can be used for the UK or France. But it's the Greek book, and you can use, I forgot to say this in my announcement video, you can use the Greek book for a country. So not only will you get the points for that country if they get any points in the final, and if they get to the final you'll also get the bonus points, which I still haven't decided what that will be, but say it's 50 points, you will get 50 points for reading it as well as whatever the points for that country get if they get to the final. So Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, I'm using that for France. Greece, My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. This will be the third year that I've put this on my Eurovisionathon TBR because other things keep getting in the way. Will this be the year? I don't know. Around the World, not Around the World in 80 Days. Iceland, I've got Tales of Iceland by Stephen Markley. Italy, I have got Messy Wonderful Us by Catherine Isaac. This is one that my mum passed on to me. Again, I think this has been on 3 TBRs and every time I find a different Italy book. So we'll see again whether this one goes. It should do really because I'm trying to get books off my pile, but we'll see. Latvia, I've got The Blue Zones of Happiness by Dan Buther. That's like a mind, body and spirit type book, but that came up when I typed Latvia into Scribd. Now I don't know what to do with Latvia is. I'm wondering if he's like, so I think in it he does talk about different places and happiness in those places. So I'm hoping Latvia's mentioned. Otherwise, Scribd has just brought that up and it's nothing to do with Latvia. So because it's an ebook, I'll have a quick skip through to check when I get it. But if I can find another one in here to do with Latvia, it may be that I do one of those instead of that. In fact, I do think there's one that's got Estonia and Latvia in it. So that may not happen. But yeah, The Blue Zones of Happiness by Dan Buther. Don't take my word for it that that's definitely got it and go and buy it or anything like that. And to be honest, I wouldn't suggest buying books if you can help it. Use the ones on your shelves, use your library, use your ebook service. It's up to you if you buy any, but that one I can't 100% say Latvia's in it. So I'm just hoping it is if I come to it. Moldova, don't go there. This I bought secondhand off eBay. It was in great condition. It's by Adam Fletcher, and it says, from Chernobyl to North Korea, one man loses himself and finds everyone else in the world's strangest places. So yeah, I am using that one for Moldova because that is mentioned in there, but it may well mention, let's see if it says at the front. Oh no, it hasn't got a breakdown of the chapters, but I do believe Moldova's in there. North Macedonia, I'm going for one called Driving Tito Through the Balkan Back Roads with a Celebrity by Emma Carmichael. I think she drives through quite a few of the Balkan places, so there may be more than North Macedonia in there. Again, a travel non-fiction. Portugal, A Van of One's Own. Don't know who wrote that, but you'll see it in the picture. That one was that on Scribd. But I think it's about somebody who buys a caravan and tours around in it. Romania, I'm going for The World at My Feet by Catherine Isaacs. Was that other one a Catherine Isaacs? Yeah. So I saw in the library last year The World at My Feet, which looks like a contemporary fiction, but I'm using that for Romania. Have I been mentioning the countries before these? I hope so. Portugal, A Van of One's Own, Romania, The World at My Feet. It's got like a red cover and it just looks like an easygoing read, so I've picked that one for Romania. I think one of the characters is Romanian in that one. So for Serbia, I'm going for Murder on the Orient Express. I've never actually read the book. I've seen quite a few film versions, including the most recent one with Kenneth Branagh. That always makes me think of Othello because I've seen him playing Iago in that. So yeah, Serbia, Murder on the Orient Express, as they go through there. Slovenia, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. This is a library book. It's a thriller. It says, Jack thought there must be a way. Surely there was a way. There was no breeze in the tunnel, no natural light. The whoosh and rattle of forced ventilation had long ceased. Within minutes, the stuffy underground warrant smelt of decay and death. The lights went off. Whether that's one for me, I don't know. Again, I think some of those travel non-fiction have got Slovenia in, so I may defect onto one of those because this sounds like I'm not great with being closed in, and I'm thinking that sounds underground and stuff like that just sounds like might not be up my street. So we'll see where we go with that. I've put all my books in the wrong pile. Let me find where I'm up to. Right, so Switzerland, I was going to go for Swiss Family Robinson. I love the Disney film of that with John Mills. So if I can get a copy of Swiss Family Robinson, then I will be reading that. For the Ukraine, I'm going for Sisters of the Winterwood by Irina Rosner. This was the one of the months for Eurovisionathon book club, and I didn't get around to this one. I started it and didn't carry on, so I'm hoping to read that for Ukraine, and I would like to read Ukraine this year. Then we're going back to the A's for some reason. Australia, I've got two options, but I'm probably going to go with the Playing Beatty Bow by Ruth Part. My lovely friend from work, Claire, has borrowed me this one, lent me this one, because she read as a child, and she gave it to me to read because she'd seen that people had recommended it to me on BookTube. A book fiend named Mel picked it for my BookTuber friends pick my TBR for the year, and so I haven't read it yet, and so she gave it me months ago, but I've held on to it because I want to read it for Australia. The other option is Sari by Sue Dharmapala. Again, I've had this on for a few years for Eurovisionathon, but the size of it puts me off when you look in comparison to Beatty Bow. I think this is going to be the winner. So there's that one. Austria, I haven't got it here with me. I have got a physical copy, but I'm going for the Sound of Music scrapbook, family scrapbook. I love the Sound of Music. I've been to Austria with Andy on our first foreign holiday together, and we did the Sound of Music tour. My favourite book is Forever Liesel by Charmian Carr, and I treated myself to this big family scrapbook of all like pictures from the movie and behind the scenes stuff and letters and postcards and things like that, and I've never actually got around to sitting and reading it. It was in my attic for a long time, and it's, you know, the condition is brand new because I literally haven't looked at it since I bought it. So I'm hoping to read that for Austria. I think it'll break things up a bit because it's not like a full-on fiction or non-fiction book, but it's still quite a lot of pages because there's a lot of stuff in it. So yeah, that's for Austria. Bulgaria, I'm going for Like Wins Your Hands by Elizabeth Ailey. Can't really remember what that's about. Croatia, I'm going for The Sahir by Paulo Coelho, and I've got another one of his that can be used for Spain. Denmark, I'm going for The Copenhagen Affair by Amulga Maladi. I've always wanted to go to Copenhagen. I want to go and see the Little Mermaid statue. I haven't made it there yet, but maybe reading about it will push me to that. So that's for Denmark. For Estonia, I'm going for Mission Estonia by Justin Petrone. For Georgia, I'm going for Nala's World by Dean Nicholson. I wanted to double check that this is definitely Georgia in Europe and not Georgia in America, and that's what you find hard when you start trying to Google Georgia books. You get a lot of American ones, and obviously we're going for Georgia in around the Balkan Islands, that area in Europe. So this one is about a fella who travels around with a rescue cat, and I have a cat, and this is going to be right up my street, and I'm determined to read this one this year. For Ireland, I'm going for Raw by Cecilia Ahern. Any Cecilia Ahern book will fit for Ireland. I've got Freckles downstairs as well, but this is short stories. I've had it on my shelf for a while, and so this is the one I'm going to reach for. Why have I jumped to Ireland when I haven't done Germany? For Germany, I'm doing The Vintage Springtime Club by Beatrice Mia. It said it's never too late to fall in love again. Newly retired Philip returns home to Cologne and bumps into his long-lost sweetheart Ricarda. She's looking for a temporary accommodation while repairs are carried out on her house, and so Philip concocts a plan to set up a flat share with friends. So that sounds really lovely. For Israel, I'm going for Minarets in the Mountains by Tariq Hussein. I think that's looking around the Muslim faith, and so I'm quite interested to read that one. For Lithuania, I'm going for From Russia with Lunch, a Lithuanian Odyssey by David Smith. That is another travel non-fiction. For Malta, I'm going for The September Girls. Can I remember who wrote it? No, but I will put a picture up here. That again was a pick for the Eurovisionathon book club in September, I think it was, and I never got around to it. No, I'm saying September because it's The September Girls. It was recent. But I never got around to reading it, so I'm hoping to read that for then. For Netherlands, I'm going for Gears for Queers, and it's basically about two gay people who travel around on bicycles around, I don't know what area, well, Netherlands for a start, around the Netherlands, but I think they might travel to other places as well. I've got that on BorrowBox. It's just come through this morning that it's available for me to read from now, so I'm going to try and renew it the most it can be renewed so that it fits for the whole of Eurovisionathon until I get round to it. But the cover on this is lovely. I saw this at the Warrington Library pop-up stall in the main shopping centre and took a picture of it because I wanted to remember it. Oh no, that was a different one. That was, oh, what was that one called? Eat Gay Love. Eat Gay Love was the one I fancied. What did I see Gays for Queers in the same section while I was there? I don't know, but I just read about this one and it sounds really good. But check out Eat Gay Love as well if you can. I wanted to have a look where I think they travel as well, but I haven't managed to get a copy of that, so that could be one to use for Eurovisionathon. Then Norway, The Cabin in the Mountains, a Norwegian Odyssey by Robert Ferguson. For Poland, yet again, I've got this one on. I'm going for The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. This was for the Eurovisionathon book club after the first year, where we kind of tried for a couple of months, but we weren't feeling it, so we just stopped. And this was one of the books that I think we were considering reading, but we just never got round to it. So hoping to get to that one at some point. San Marino. Right, San Marino is, I think, probably the hardest one to find books for. Last year when they were in it, I managed to find, a couple of us managed to find a really old Mills and Boon called From Smoke into Flames, or Smoke into Flames, something like that. And there's another one called, I think it's Gladiator by somebody Turtledove, Harry Turtledove or something like that. Now I don't fancy that one, and I've looked and looked and looked, and I did find one on Scribd called Around the World in 80 Men, San Marino, and this is by Rebecca Ratliff. And I've got a feeling that there's a whole series of these books, possibly for different countries, but it specifically mentions San Marino on the front. Will it be really smutty? I don't know. Will it be overly smutty and I'll just think, what the hell am I reading? I don't know. But that is on my list for San Marino, because I needed to find a book for San Marino. I did manage to put up a list of about 4, 2 of them being Smoke into Flame and the Harry Turtledove one. I think there's one about a sports star from San Marino, or he mentions San Marino in there. So go and check out the countdown and look for San Marino, and there's a few options on there. But if you want a bit of smut and you want to give Around the World in 80 Men San Marino a try, you go for it. Will I get round to it? I don't know. I might have to cover my eyes while I read it. So then we've got Spain and The Only Way is West. I can't remember who wrote it, but that's a travel non-fiction. I've got that on my Kindle. I bought it for like 99p ages ago. And for Sweden, I am hopefully going to read my first Fredrik Backman. My grandmother sends her regards and apologies, so I'm going to give that one a go. And then for the UK, I haven't put anything. I've put Around the World in 8 Days here, but I'm using that for France. But I've got loads of UK books, so if I manage to just pick up one, or I want to mood read one day, the chances are one that I pick up will be for the UK, and I will include it there. So let's have a quick look through the few that I found at the library recently that I haven't added in. The Cyclist Who Went Out in the Cold: Adventures Along the Iron Curtain Trail by Tim Moore. And when I looked inside, it says he sets off from the northernmost Norwegian-Russian border at the Arctic winter's brutal height, bullying his plucky Mifa 900 through the endless and massively sub-zero desolation of snowbound Finland. And so when I looked at the map, you can't see it very well there, but there's like a map there, and it's going through Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Riga, Lithuania, Poland is nearby, whether he mentioned it, I don't know, Germany, Czech Republic, on the edge of Slovakia and Austria, Serbia and Bulgaria. So there will be a lot mentioned. Let's see if the chapter things there. Actually, it'll be easier to look on the chapter headings. So Germany is definitely there. Then we've got Finland, Estonia and Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Germany, have I already said that? Bear with me. Austria, Czech Republic, Croatia, Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, Romania, Serbia again, Bulgaria and Macedonia, Bulgaria again, Greece and Turkey. So there is loads. So that is very much an option if you can get your hands on it. This was in my non-fiction travel section in the library. So that is going to cover any that I'm struggling for. These are the kind of books I'm going to save till that last week when we find out who has won the semi-finals and got through to the final. And then if there's any countries that I haven't done, these will be the kind of books that I'll go, right, that country's in there, I'm going to read that one. Then I found Autumn by Norsgaard. I loved the idea of this when I read it. It says autumn begins with a letter from this author that he writes to his unborn daughter. He adds one short piece per day describing the material and natural world with precision and mesmerising intensity that become his trademark. And I believe he's Norwegian. Yeah, he's Norwegian. So you can use this one for Norway. I just thought, oh, Dad writing almost a love letter to his unborn daughter. I thought that was lovely. So there's that one. Then we've got Around the World in 80 Trains, a 45,000-mile adventure by Monisha Rajesh. I know quite a lot of this mentions India. I think that's because that's where she starts off from. But let me see. Do we touch Paris? Is definitely in there. Unfortunately, then I think it's, like I say, around India way. So it might be worth having a look. I know Russia's mentioned in there, but obviously Russia aren't in. So whether she mentions any of her other travels, I don't know. But because Paris is in there, if you're looking for a Paris book and you like travel non-fiction like I do, this will be worth a go. Because then she's going to like China. Oh, Austria's mentioned in there. You can do Austria for this. Actually, it's just easier if I quickly look at the pictures. Austria, Paris. Are there any others? No, so I think Austria and Paris, you're good with this one. If you love reading about China, India, that might be one for you. Let's have a look what else we've got. A Time of Gifts by Patrick Lee Fermor. This is at 18, he sets out to walk from Rotterdam to Istanbul, kind of like a pilgrimage. Let's see if it tells us. Yeah, so from Holland to the Middle Danube. We're going Germany, definitely in there. Prague, Slovakia, not Slovenia. But again, worth a flick through and seeing what you can get through there. A Thing of Beauty Travels in Mythical and Modern Greece by Peter Fiennes. I'm not very good on my myths and mythology, so you know that could be an option, but I really need to read My Family and Other Animals. But there's a Greece one for you if you're into Greek mythology, and this is again is a travel non-fiction. And finally, like I said, Paulo Coelho, The Pilgrimage. This is about walking the Camino Trail. So yeah, even though that looks short, the writing's really small, but I need to get this off my shelves. So I hope that was okay. We've definitely got 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 40, about 45, 46 books there for you of options for different countries. By all means, list some of yours below. If you're looking for some, put a comment below and people will most likely reply. Use the hashtag Eurovisionathon on Twitter, on Instagram. People will give suggestions. They love to do that. Look at the countdown. We're on day 16 today. I haven't done it yet, but that's for Georgia, so good luck to me finding some Georgian books to recommend. That's the drilling of the kitchen. So yeah, and the Discord, we've got lots more discussions going on there now that we're nearing the readathon. And I'm going to end here because drilling is happening and you're not going to be able to hear me. So yeah, thanks for joining in. Check out all the information below of the sign up forms, etc. And I will speak soon. Bye.